All right, guys, we are doing 11.3a, which is the surface area of a pyramid today. So we're learning two new formulas. Pyramids are different than prisms that we talked about at first. So I just want to go through some of the details of how they're different, what we know about them, and how we're going to use that to find lateral area, surface area, and eventually volume of these things. So first thing, definition of a pyramid, some things that you need to know about a pyramid. First of all, one of your faces can be any polygon. So a triangle, a hexagon, a pentagon, a square. You can have a lot of different polygons for one of your faces. All of your other faces, which are your lateral faces, will be triangles that meet at a common vertex. So with pyramids, you have a lot of triangles. You name it based on that any polygon, which we call the base. Okay, so based on the shape of the base. If you look at this picture over here, your base here is a hexagon. That's this figure. This is a hexagonal pyramid. Okay, the triangles will always all meet up here. You have a lateral face, which would be one of the triangles. The lateral edge is one of the sides of that triangle. And I will show you in just a minute one other part that comes into play with that. All right, a regular pyramid. A regular pyramid is a pyramid whose base is a regular polygon. And we work a lot with regular pyramids. It just kind of simplifies things when everything is the same around it. So it's a regular pyramid is a regular pyramid is a pyramid whose base is a regular polygon and whose lateral faces are congruent isosceles triangles. So all the triangles that wrap around are exactly the same, which is why it's so convenient to have a regular polygon base, because everything around it ends up being congruent triangles. Okay. In pyramids, when you see H, that will be the height of the pyramid. That is perpendicular to the base. Okay. So if you look at this picture here, my base is a square. This being perpendicular to the square is my height. Okay, whereas, and this is the one that often people will confuse with a height, the L is a slant height. And the slant height is the height of one of your lateral faces. So now if you look at this triangle, okay, the slant height is the one that is perpendicular to the base of that triangle. So this is your L, the slant height, and it's usually on a slant based on how the picture is drawn. So maybe that will help you to remember it. But H is height, L is slant height. If you want to take a look in your book and just try to mess with some of these, on page 1618 and 1619, there are some figures that you can actually manipulate and move around yourself if you want to just take a look at that. It's nothing that you have to do, but if you're curious and you want to play around with a pyramid, you can go there. Okay. So the formulas that we're going to do today, we're going to talk lateral and surface area of a pyramid. Remember, lateral area is the area of all of your lateral faces. So in this picture, the lateral area does not include the base, right? The lateral area would be 1, 2, 3, 4 identical triangles. If you think about how these triangles are set up, the base of the triangle is the side of the base of your figure. The slant height is the height of that triangle. So if I find the area of the triangle, it's 1/2 SL. Well, think about 1/2 SL times what would give you your whole lateral area. Your slant height, your lateral faces, there are 4 of them that are identical. So if we take the lateral area we would be saying 4 of those triangles, 1/2 SL, right? Well, math says that you can use the commutative property of multiplication to change the order that you multiply something in. So let's just rearrange this real fast. Let's say I wanted to do 1/2, and then I wanted to multiply by 4 times S, and then L. Well, another way to say 4S here, S, 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 and S, is the perimeter of your base. So the formula, look how beautifully this works out, is 1/2 times the perimeter of your base times the slant height. So this is the formula you're going to use for a pyramid, for a lateral area. Okay, and then the surface area, maybe by now you can figure out what this one will be with what we've done in the last few days. Your surface area is your lateral area. How many bases for a pyramid? You have one base, right? So in prisms and cylinders, we had 2 bases, so we had to add both of those. Well, in a pyramid, there's only one base. So that formula is just going to be LA plus B. Okay. Okay, so let's try a few of these using those formulas. Example 1 says if the slant height L is 12, okay, so this number here is going to be 12. That represents this line. And one side of the square is 8 centimeters. That means every side is 8 centimeters, right? So we want to know the lateral area and the surface area of this pyramid. Well, I know the formula is 1/2 PL. So I'm going to go 1/2, P being the perimeter of my base, right? Perimeter of the base. So think about what that would be here. That would be 8 times 4, right? 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 would be the perimeter of my base. So 8 times 4. And then my slant height, which is 12. And now you can just literally plug that into your calculator, 1/2 times 8 times 4 times 12, and you will get 192 square centimeters. Okay, so that's your lateral area. Your surface area is your lateral area plus the capital B. And if you think about what that capital B means, remember it was the area of the base. So we're going to say 192 lateral area plus whatever the area of this base is. Well, how do you find the area of a square? You take the length of the side and you square it, right? So 192 plus 64 gives us a surface area of 256 square centimeters. Okay. Again, if you have any questions on that, let me know in the Q&A for the homework, and I will go over any questions that you have. All right, second example here. This one says find the lateral area and surface area to the nearest square inch. So we're not going to leave it in simplest radical or anything like that. We're just going to plug it in. This would be a hexagonal pyramid. So our formula, lateral area, is 1/2 PL. So we're going to go 1/2. What's the perimeter of your base? Remember perimeter. You have 6-inch sides, and there are 6 of them. So 6 and 6 and 6, right? All the way around you have 6s. So it's 6 times 6 for your perimeter, or you could just put it in as 36. And then which number is your slant height? If you look at the picture here, this guy, which is 9, is going to be our slant height. So if we plug this in, lateral area, 1/2 times 36 times 9, or you can just do 1/2 times 6 times 6 times 9, is 162 square inches. Okay, then we need to find our surface area, which is the lateral area plus the area of your base. Now, notice this is a regular polygon, so our B is actually going to be 1/2 A P. Now, the nice thing is they gave you all the information for that. So we're going to say 162 plus 1/2 times the apothem. Your apothem right here, be careful, there's an arrow pointing to it, is this. Okay, so 3 rad 3 times the perimeter, which we already found. That's the perimeter of the base, which is 36. So this is going to be your answer. I would just multiply 1/2 times 3 times 36 first, just to keep it from plugging things in wrong. You don't have to. You can plug it in and get it that way too, but you just got to be careful with parentheses and things then. So if this is your setup, 162, excuse me, plus 54 rad 3, you can just plug that into your calculator and you get to the nearest square inch, it said. So it comes out to this is 255.53. So to the nearest square inch, this would be 256 square inches. Okay, last one. This one, you are finding the lateral area and surface area of the square pyramid. So they're telling your base is a square. So the formula that we know for lateral area is still 1/2 PL for a pyramid. Remember, P is the perimeter of your base. So 1/2. The perimeter of the base, if it's a square, these are all 30 all the way around, right? There are 4 of them. So your perimeter is 30 times 4. And then your slant height is this right here, which we don't know. And this is the one that takes a little bit of extra effort to make sure we get the right numbers in play. If you look at this shaded triangle, it is a right triangle. We know this side of it is 36.4. You should be able to come up with this side. So if this is a square and it's regular pyramid, that height is going straight down the middle, which means this piece is 15 if the whole thing is 30. So we're going to do Pythagorean Theorem to find our slant height. We're going to go 15 squared plus 36.4 squared equals the slant height squared. So when you plug that in, 15 squared plus 36.4 squared, and then take the square root, right? We want to square root that. That comes out to 39.37 if we round to the nearest hundredth. Remember, we want to round a little further because then we can round to the nearest tenth in the end. So that is going to be our L, our slant height, 39.37. So 1/2 PL looks like this right now. Plug that into your calculator. 1/2 times 120, or you can do times 30 times 4, gives us, times 39.37, gives us 2,362.2 square meters. Okay, so that's our lateral area. And then our surface area, we're going to do our lateral area plus capital B. Remember, this is area of the base. I think where I see a lot of people making mistakes is distinguishing between this number. Oh, that's the eraser. Just kidding. I take it back. I can't take it back. One sec. Distinguishing between what P is and what B is. Okay, P is perimeter, so 30 times 4. B is base, which is 30 times 30, right? Base times height. So just be careful with that. So we're going to take the lateral area, 2,362.2, plus the area of the base. And the area of the base would be 30 times 30, or 30 squared for a square. So if you plug that in, you get, actually we'll just go down here with it. The surface area equals 3,262.2 square meters. Okay, so Lateral area, 1/2 PL. Surface area, LA plus B. Just one B this time because you only have one base for these figures. These are the homework problems that you will need to do. Get those done and put into Canvas by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Have a lovely day.